Up next
on Your Pittsburgh, we'll show you how what's going on inside a local movie studio could mean more movies and more movie jobs for our area. This guy landed a role that had him punching a big-time actor.
You know, you're not actually going full out whacking him, because then, yeah, I mean, it's Tom Cruise.
A KDKA exclusive. Kiya Tomlin is Mike Tomlin's wife, you might say the First Lady of Steeler Nation. And for the very first time, she invites us into her design studio to show us what she's passionate about.
My next step is to open a store.
I'm Sarah Arbogast. You've heard the saying, there's an app for that. You won't believe how many apps there are just for Pittsburghers. I'll show you how they can make your life a little easier.
We're checking out Pittsburgh Penguin Marc-Andre Fleury's favorite restaurant and his favorite dish.
I think it's a Pittsburgh thing.
It certainly has been, but as Pittsburgh moves forward, will words like slippy and red up be left behind? Yins will want to hear an expert's answer.
From KDKA-TV, this is Your Pittsburgh with Kimberly Gill and David Highfield.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Your Pittsburgh.
There are so many new and interesting things going on in our city and our region, and this is really a program to celebrate that.
The name of the show is Your Pittsburgh, and we really want you to be a part of this. Tell us what you think and what stories you'd like to see.
We're going to begin with a look inside a growing industry in Pittsburgh, movie making.
Matt Damon and Christian Bale are both back here this summer making films.
And it turns out an old steel warehouse in the Strip has become a lure for movie makers. I got a special tour of what's been transformed into a Pittsburgh version of a Hollywood movie studio. And we got some scoop while we were there. Whether it's the Batman movie filmed here last year, or the newest Tom Cruise film, or the movies being filmed here this summer, or all the previous films. We've seen some big stars in Pittsburgh, but that may be just the beginning.
This is our largest soundproofed soundstage. So you got 40,000 square feet.
Chris Breakwell, the founder of 31st Street Studios in the Strip District, agreed to show us around.
We had Batman here, and then we just wrapped up with the Tom Cruise movie.
All right, I want to take you inside here. This is Studio 2, and behind this door, well, you may be surprised by this. Come on. This elaborate set was actually built for a TV show pilot that was filmed here. And look at this, looks like real brick. It's not, it's wood. And up here, this is a big wine cellar through these big heavy doors. And look at these wine bottles. They actually sprayed dust on here to make them look old. They also have a jail cell set.
This set can be used in just about every show, really.
Somebody always winds up in jail.
Exactly, they really do.
They even have a well to simulate someone being trapped down one. And they've built 10 dressing rooms for the stars of a TV series which Breakwell revealed to me has decided to relocate all its shooting here.
It's a Nickelodeon TV series called Super Ninja. And they moved it from the Paramount lot in Los Angeles.
And changing everything you thought you knew about ninjas.
Yes, that's right. They left Hollywood to shoot the show's second season on one of Breakwell's sound stages. Even shipped all the sets here, although we weren't allowed to show them to you. And even if you've never heard of the show, you'll probably recognize one of its stars.
It is your destiny to become a ninja.
George Takei, Sulu from Star Trek, and he'll be here throughout the summer shooting.
We've become sort of the Hollywood East.
At the Pittsburgh Film Office, posters show the movies made here, from Silence of the Lambs to Adventureland. They've been advertising jobs for Matt Damon's and Christian Bale's movies.
We literally have people that have moved to the West Coast kind of seeking these kind of productions that have turned around and they're calling back because we're busier here.
I was sticking him up with a gun in this corridor.
While studying musical theater at Carnegie Mellon University, Denver Millord got a role in Tom Cruise's movie and actually had to throw a punch at Cruise.
You make contact, but you pull the punch, you know, you're not actually going full out whacking him. Because then, yeah, I mean, it's Tom Cruise, you know, there was a lot of nerves involved with that.
He went through fight rehearsal first and showed me a little of how that goes.
And I can make it look like you know, whapping you good, but it's pulling back.
Milord gets elbowed in the face in the film and tried to teach me how to make that look authentic.
Here we go.
All right. Ah! The sound effect and the camera angle help a lot.
For a young actor coming out of school, just couldn't have been a better experience.
From actors to set builders, movies in Pittsburgh mean jobs and money. The film office estimates
over $100 million was brought in to the region.
Not just last year, but each of the last 3 years. One example of that, all the sets built at the studio.
It literally saved a lumber company, family owned, because of all the wood.
But what's happening now at the studio is even bigger. Night Vision, which did the special effects in the movie Avatar, will open here, the first motion capture production facility outside Hollywood. They put people in special suits with markers on them.
And there are a series of cameras that will look for those markers on the suits and translate that into an animated character in real time.
They're joining forces with CMU's Entertainment Technology Center, whose students will work here. At the same time, Paramount on Location has moved in to supply lights and equipment, so movie crews don't have to ship it in. All of it has Breakwell making a prediction about filmmaking here.
I really believe it could be the 4th or 5th largest employer in Pittsburgh.
Now, most everyone I talked to said another big draw for movie makers is the state's film tax credit because it can save them a whole lot of money.
Yeah, it's really, really cool that that studio is right here in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. And what they eventually want to do is have public tours there so everyone can go in and get a first-hand look.
Really cool. Very, very cool. Okay, can you live without your cell phone? For many of us, including David and me, the answer is no. And we've learned about some apps that make it even more useful.
These are all apps that are specific to Pittsburgh. Sarah Arbogast has been checking them out and joins us now to show us what they do. And almost all of these are free, right, Sarah?
That's right. I have 5 apps to show you. 4 of them are free. One costs just 99 cents. And the best part is they're just for people here in Pittsburgh. They can help you with everything from finding a parking spot around town to finding the best happy hours. If you spend time in the city, you know parking can be a hassle. This app, Park PGH, can help. It gives you real-time parking availability in Pittsburgh's cultural district. Besides finding spots, you can also locate the closest lot to your destination and get rates. This app is great if you're looking to save time and a few headaches.
That's amazing because there's absolutely no parking here, and that is the biggest problem for everyone.
This is a must-have app for parents, the Children's PGH app from Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh of UPMC. It features a symptom checker, parent advice, info on medications, and more.
So it's good to have something in case I miss the doctors.
Miss the news? Don't worry. You can catch up on CBS Pittsburgh. It's where you can find everything from KDKA-TV, News Radio 1020, and The Fan 93.7. From sports to weather and news, the very latest videos are at your fingertips. If you love happy hour, download Cocktail Compass Pittsburgh. It shows you a real-time list of happy hours and drink specials. You can also find a list of all the bars in the Burgh. Next up, the DIY Pop Warhol app.
You can create your own silkscreen print, just like Andy Warhol would have, while learning about the silkscreen printing process.
Plus, you can get the inside scoop on collections. It'll cost you just 99 cents.
Okay, Sarah, so I have to ask, what's your favorite app?
I think they are all really cool, but I found the parking app to be really, really useful. You know, parking can be a big challenge from time to time in the city, and that's a great resource to have.
I think you lied to us. You said you were not technical, and I'm very impressed with your technical know-how.
That was not a lie. I am not technical at all, but these are so easy to search for and so easy to download. They take minutes. They're just really simple to find and great to use.
All right, well, good stuff. Thanks, Sarah.
Still to come, our exclusive interview with Kia Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's wife is a successful fashion designer, but does she design clothes for her husband?
Have you ever made anything for him?
I have. She'll tell us how it turned out.
Did you know someone's making whiskey in Pittsburgh and giving out free samples? We'll take you there.
What's going on with the casino planned for Nemacolin in Fayette County? We have an update.
It's cheese curds, which takes the sour part of the milk.
Just part of the dish Marc-Andre Fleury calls his favorite. We're going to try it and show you around his favorite Pittsburgh restaurant.
I'm getting hungry for a sandwich.
Could sandwich and yins and other examples of Pittsburghese be vanishing? We ask an expert what's going on. Stay with us.
Progress is underway that'll change Pittsburgh's skyline. We're going to show you how.
Plus, water, grain, and yeast, the ingredients for whiskey, and a new place in Pittsburgh is making it. It's just one of our stops as we check out what's new in the Burgh.
Pittsburgh's first whiskey distillery since Prohibition is up and running in the Strip District. It's called Wiggle Whiskey, and there are whiskey tastings. A new state law allows small distilleries to give out samples and sell directly to the public.
Bluebird Kitchen is the latest addition to the old G.C. Murphy building in Market Square. It joins Noodles & Company, Chipotle, DeBella's Subs, and Velazzi's Pittsburgh. You may already know the Velazzi name from their Greensburg location.
More affordable housing is headed to Garfield. The homes will be built throughout the neighborhood on vacant lots. Garfield Glen will be made up of 45 rental units.
Demolition underway to make space for a new skyscraper downtown. The tower at PNC Plaza will be 33 stories. It'll be green certified with a very large heat collector on the roof.
Less than a block away, there's talk of another skyscraper to replace this building across from Macy's. But Oxford Development says it needs a major tenant to build it. Otherwise, it's considering remodeling the current building.
Whether there's going to be a casino at the Nemacolin Resort in Fayette County is now in the hands of the state Supreme Court. Last year, Nemacolin was awarded the last miniature resort casino license, but a group that wants to build one in Gettysburg is appealing.
Taxi! Taxi! Pittsburgh isn't known as a place to hail a cab from the curb, but Pittsburgh City Cab wants to change that. 6 black and white cabs are offering rides between downtown, the North Shore, the South Side, Mount Washington, and Oakland.
Now, the owner of the taxi service says they're meeting the demands of changing times.
He says there are more people living downtown now and more restaurants and bars.
Still to come, a KDKA exclusive. Mike Tomlin is all about football, but his wife, Kiya, is all about fashion. For the first time, she's showing us around her design studio and talking about Steeler Nation.
It's called Pittsburghese, words and an accent that's part of the city's history, but will it be part of our future?
Is it ever going to just vanish?
How a local expert answers coming up.
Plus, what's the one dish Penguins star Marc-Andre Fleury can't live without?
I think it's very tasty and good to eat.
You're watching Your Pittsburgh on KDKA-TV with Kimberly Gill and David Highfield.
Her husband is one of the best known people in Pittsburgh, Steelers coach Mike Tomlin. But you may not know much about Kiya Tomlin.
It turns out she's a talented clothing designer who has her own business. She's also a busy mom and someone who cares about giving back to the community. She hasn't really done a lot of TV interviews, but recently she agreed to talk with us.
Simple, classic, slightly unusual, and comfortable. That's how Kiya Tomlin describes her fashion creations. She fits, designs, and sews everything herself from start to finish using only the finest fabric.
So this would be like my basic.
I love that.
Kiya's interest in fashion started when she made her first design at age 4. She used white construction paper, scissors, and tape to make this ballet tutu. At age 11, she asked for a sewing machine.
My mom taught me how to sew, how to work the machine just based off what she knew from home ec. And so we started with one of those little duck pillows. And then the next thing I was like, I want to make a jumpsuit. And she was kind of like, oh!
That jumpsuit parachuted Kiya's desire and passion for design. By high school, she not only sewed her prom dresses, but also her sisters, cousins, and many of her friends. She went to college on a full gymnastics scholarship and was actually a pre-med major at William & Mary, not ever realizing her fashion potential.
To me, it was kind of a hobby. I didn't see it as really a career. There wasn't Project Runway type shows that make you realize, oh, this is a viable career.
It was at William & Mary that Kiya would meet and fall in love with Coach Mike Tomlin. After graduation, they married. Kiya designed her own wedding dress. During Tomlin's early coaching years, Kiya attended workshops and took classes, all to hone her design skills. She's always had an interest in women's formal wear, but admits she took a stab at menswear once, making a shirt for Coach Tomlin.
And I got one of his shirts, and I, measured the seam stitching, and I tried to do exactly to look like the shirt he had. And he picked it up, he's like, oh, this is pretty good. And he put it on, and he looked in the mirror, and the button-down collar was like this.
The story reminded me and them of an episode of The Cosby Show where Theo can't afford a designer shirt, so Denise tries to make him one.
The Gordon Gartrell. He calls it that. He still refers to it as the Gordon Gartrell.
Kia's come a long way since that Gordon Gartrell. She now works with private clients to create designs customized to their specific body type. Eventually, she'd like to open a store to the public and sees nothing wrong with that store being right here in Pittsburgh.
I love it here. It's home. It's home now. We've never lived anywhere this long, so we're comfortable. The people are great. They're genuine.
And while it doesn't have to do with fashion for all the black and gold faithful, I just had to ask one final question.
What do you think about Steeler Nation?
I think it's unbelievable. This is our third NFL team, and never seen anything like it. It's a really cool experience.
Great story, impressive clothes, and really impressive lady.
Indeed, beautiful clothes, and she's a beautiful person on the inside and outside, as you can see. When she's not designing clothes or running around behind her 3 children, she likes to give back to the community by talking to young girls about how to dress and what your clothes say about you. She gives this little class on what to wear and what not to wear.
And how impressive would it be to have Kiya Tomlin in your class as a young person? I mean, you're going to remember that. I'm sure lots of people wonder what it costs to get a Kiya original.
Well, her service starts at about $500, but of course it all depends on fabric selection, detail, and anything else that's involved. But if you'd like more information, she works by appointment, and we have a link to her website on our website. Just go to KDKA.com/YourPittsburgh. Okay, well, many of the best stories we cover come from you, suggestions from viewers. So we're going to have a section of the show devoted to answering your questions. We're calling it You Wanted to Know.
Yeah, is there really a fourth river under Pittsburgh? Which TV stars have Pittsburgh roots? You ask it, we're going to try to answer it.
But to get things started, we're going to begin with something we're asking. Is Pittsburghese vanishing?
Are words and phrases like yins, red up, and slippy slowly going away as Pittsburgh moves forward? Well, you might be surprised by the answer. Whether it's the Nebby Debbie doll,
how about yins red up them rooms before company comes over?
Or this keychain.
Our yins guys going downtown and had to see the Steelers play.
Or bags, mugs, t-shirts, or even toilet paper. It's clear we like to have a little fun with the words and phrases that have been uniquely Pittsburgh.
Rid of the room, that's older people.
Gumban was one I said for a very long time.
He says Hass and Yella and downtown.
You mean downtown?
Yes, that's what we mean, but that wouldn't be Pittsburghese.
Yins.
Barbara Johnstone, a linguistics professor at Carnegie Mellon University, has been studying how Pittsburghers talk for 10 years now.
Almost all of those words that people think of as Pittsburgh words are from the Scots-Irish.
A group that moved from Scotland to Northern Ireland to here started it all. Take yins, as this t-shirt clearly shows, the plural of you. She says it began as you-ones, changed to you-uns, then yuns, and now yins.
Younger people think it's yins.
But yins better brace yourself in that for the conclusion of her research.
Over time, the actual accent of Pittsburghers is becoming less common.
Yep, she says fewer people are speaking Pittsburghese, unintentionally at least, and she says that's normal for any local lingo as more people travel around. But she also found something else.
But at the same time, it seems that people have started becoming more and more aware of this accent. They actually become sort of proud of it.
She says while people don't want to use it on a job interview, Pittsburghese makes us unique and that it's kind of become hip. But as for the future...
Is it ever going to just vanish?
It's hard to say.
She suspects, though, that it will exist in some form as people continue to be creative with it.
So I think it's definitely something that's an identifying Pittsburgh character, and I wouldn't want to see it go away entirely. What would I have to make fun of?
And people do have fun with it. Dr. Johnstone says it may actually benefit some people in their jobs, namely local politicians, to have a little bit of a Pittsburgh accent.
All right, well, if you want to send us a suggestion for our You Wanted to Know segment, you can reach us on our website at KDKA.com/YourPittsburgh.
Still to come, it's time to eat.
That it is. We're headed to Pittsburgh Penguin Marc-Andre Fleury's favorite restaurant, and we'll reveal his favorite dish. Don't go away. There seem to be more and more exciting new restaurants opening up in our region, and we'd like to feature some of them. We're going to begin with the favorite place of a familiar face.
We asked Pittsburgh Penguin Marc-Andre Fleury his absolute favorite place to go, and listen to what he said.
I think a new restaurant called Meat and Potatoes downtown. I really like it, and they also have poutine. It's not very healthy, but reminds me of home a little bit, and it's very good.
We had never heard of poutine before, but he says it's excellent comfort food.
And after an endorsement like that, we decided to check it out. So we sat down for a meal at Meat and Potatoes. There's a reason they call this place Meat and Potatoes, with items like salty pig, a 34-ounce ribeye complete with fries, and bone marrow on the menu. This is not the place you go if you're looking for vegetables. Everything we tried was absolutely delectable.
I do like whatever is on, like the rub that's on the steak or whatever. It's good.
But David and I were there for something called poutine.
Well, poutine's a classic. It actually originated in Quebec. It's a big Canada favorite, and I think that's why Fleury loves it, and a lot of the Penguins love it. It's basically French fries, cheese curd, and gravy. It's a simple thing, but it's just three delicious things together.
The dish is delicious indeed. Poutine is perfect for comfort food lovers. The taste actually surprised us both.
It's not as bad as I thought. When you hear the term cheese curds, you automatically think that doesn't sound appetizing, but I think it's very good.
Yeah, I can see why this is his favorite dish.
Meat and Potatoes is downtown on Penn Avenue, right in the middle of the Cultural District.
They have a beautiful space, and one thing we didn't mention that was delicious, they have these dates wrapped in bacon. I'm telling you, really good.
So good, so good. Let us know your favorite place. Go to KDKA.com/YourPittsburgh. We also want your story ideas and suggestions. You can contact us on Facebook and Twitter.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Your Pittsburgh. From all of us here, thanks for watching.
And we'll see you next time.